EQ for beatboxing, I think it's EQ for bass though. Yeah, that's early morning. Wow. But yeah, so it's good. That's K, kind of a KH. So even if you just do there you go. You got a drum beat in your mouth now. That's the choke. And B is that's bass. But anyway, you could also like and then the snare. The snare can either be a PF. Everyone knows what a snare is.
Even Dam Hai To Aa Gaya, which is what got us we never expected it for VH1 to call us up and say, hey, they want to take it for international syndication and things like that. Nobody ever thought of those things. We just heard about a bunch of slum kids who were b-boying at an abandoned fort in Siam. There's like how many kinds of awesome in that sentence, man. And so we just had to go there, and we had to go there with a camera. That's all we did. We didn't even have a video in mind. We just said we're going to check this out and we're going to shoot it. When we got the footage back, we were, I think, just sitting at a on an FCP setup and needed something to cut it on, and just happened to toss Dam Hai To Aa Gaya in there because it was on the desktop or something, and it just worked. And but the point that I'm trying to emphasize is not that, but the attitude of just not stopping yourself from doing things or thinking of truly original ideas will. OK Go is a huge example for that, man. Like now you wait for the next OK Go video to come out, and they've consistently delivered after that. So even for bands that paranormal activity in film, so there's original ideas and great ideas that stand out will find their way, and I think you should keep trying until you hit that idea, and then try to hit another one after that. Here's what happened a few years ago. A couple of labels came together and decided to orchestrate a bunch of musical projects, and they got a bunch of projects. They got a bunch of girls, a bunch of guys, maybe one guy here, maybe that guy. Kind of, hey, maybe you need to wear that hat, dress them up in a certain way, gave them a name, got the best music producers in the business, got them to write a bunch of songs, and then shot about 5 videos for each one of those releases. That is what we remember as the indie pop scene. This was done by about 4 labels, where a scene was created in this country, or actually not just in this country, in any country. You can create a scene which is purely perception based, because none of these guys were really gigging or anything, and they didn't even write their own music. But a bunch of labels came together, just like the way the Spice Girls and Boyzone and NSYNC was designed. They're designed to sell. So the music video was a huge tool then, but today the music video is perhaps forgotten on television, or it's kind of jaded, just purely as a tool. Nobody does it anymore, purely because I don't think people find it as an ROI. They don't feel it has enough returns. They because now your YouTube hits and things like that kind of overshadow TRPs, and also that you don't really you think that in the West they still use extremely technical and like things like visual effects and motion control, motion capture, all the kind of stuff that's used in a fight sequence in a Guy Ritchie film or in a music video. But none of that shit happens over here. You may see it in a commercial, but you will not see it in a music video because it is kind of assumed to be a low-cost tool. There are still music videos in the Punjabi, ETC Punjabi. If you watch the channel, there's like 3 new videos every 4 seconds. So it's there. It's still as a tool. But if you go to Delhi, they charge about, I think, 2 lakh a video. Any production house charges about 2 lakh rupees a video. Produce the whole thing. We get the chicks. We get the chroma cloth. And it's become that way now. However, I feel that at this stage that calling it an India section helps now, because you don't have enough to make your own India music channel. You know what I mean? You run out of content in 3 hours. So what needs to happen is that people need to notice the fact that this is happening in India, and this is good stuff that's happening in India. Because while Dum Hai To Aa Gaya may look Indian, unrelenting surge of vengeance, which is a demonic resurrection video, doesn't look like it's Indian. The only reason why Dum Hai To Aa Gaya looks Indian is because those kids are Indian. But the demonic resurrection video doesn't really portray it as an Indian or whatever. So that it makes it easier for it to be part of a clutter. Because a music channel is sort of like a screensaver. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. While it's great because it's visuals with music, and visuals and music go together, and they've always been part of the same pod. I believe that we're not at that stage yet for it to be part of the greater mix, because it's easy for it to just get lost in there. Today, if you say an India section for the next 30 minutes, I would stay, even though it's shit. Even though they're playing a Brahma music video that was shot in SL World in 1992, I'd still wait to watch what the next video is like. You know. However, I don't think a Brahma video that was shot in 1992 can play with Usher's new video or something, which is like cost 5 million to make. You know. So it's purely things like that. So it's you can't expect. Because today you don't have companies investing in bands to make videos. Bands are investing to make videos. So the production values are obviously going to be something that today will still be a bit that you will desire. I wish they made it with a better camera or so forth. So those things you can't make. It will be a while before. I don't think it'll be a while. It'll just, I think, need you guys to graduate and start meeting some bands, start making videos for them, and then I think we'll have a channel. VHI or something, I don't know. Cool. Sure, man.
How far along in the future do you see an English radio channel coming on?
I'm actually astounded that the radio is perhaps the most I mean, it's given such step-brotherly treatment in this country. It's actually appalling. It's one of the most, like today, BBC Radio is still one of the biggest churners of content of all forms. Why is there no radio plays? Did you guys do a radio play when you were learning? Yeah. No, but in your courseware, as part of your BMM courseware, did you do a radio play? You're doing a radio play. See, but you're never going to do a radio play once you join the radio. You know, because they don't know shit like that. It's absurd, because there's no radio plays, there's no news on private FM channels, there's no sort of, even in the nature of what happens on TV, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a label-controlled medium of the most obnoxious kind today. However, what I think can be the radio of India is a podcast. So that can be something that you could, that can, so the rumblings in the interior can begin there. That's what I mean by going beyond Bollywood, honestly, is taking that initiative and not kind of whining about it or saying that it's not there, so I'm not doing it. I mean, if you have an idea, all you need is a computer, or all you need is someone you know with a computer, you know.